Hello everybody, welcome to this week's weekly bump. Super excited to have you here. So as always, we have 3 piles in front of us. Pile 1, we're using a Kambaba Jasper. Pile 2, we have a rose quartz heart. And pile 3, we have a selenite. So go ahead and take a moment. Now I know not everyone always feels, really intuitively drawn to a pile. So if not, then you can always just randomly pick a pile. I always say there's an element of destiny involved. But if you do want to take your time to select, please pause the video and really feel your way through this. Timestamps for each pile will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below. And I will see you in just a sec. Okay, pile number 1, you guys selected the Kambaba Jasper. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take a look here, starting with the 6 tarot cards. So we have 6 of coins, the Sun, 10 of coins. We love to see that one. We have the Page of Cups reversed, the Hermit, and we have Justice. Okay. I love to see the scales on either side of this reading as an indication of things evening out for you. So if for whatever reason there has been an imbalance, there are going to be actions or events that occur to rectify those imbalances. As the sun moves into Cancer this week, and we have, building a waning moon, the moon is coming back to Cancer now for the new moon in Cancer, which is happening on the 28th. We're building up to this Neptune retrograde over in Pisces as well. And I feel like emotional security is going to be an important theme for the week. And actually, there's not really a lot of cards to indicate emotional security specifically, but I see financial security with the 10 of coins as being kind of a supplement to that. So the scales may have something to do with your financials, okay? Something coming back into an even place with financials. As Venus is coming off of that square with Saturn, she makes her way into Gemini as well on the 22nd, and she is going to kind of, help us to get creative and help us to, with our self-expression, to help us with, our energy levels and help us to kind of evolve and grow in new kinds of ways, specifically for this security, whether financial or emotional or both. There does seem to be something that you must do alone, as I'm seeing with the Hermit, that there is a path or a track or a task or something that you must do, and it must be only you. And that may be hard because the desire to incorporate another person may be strong, or to rely upon another person, or to hope that someone will come and make it better, whatever it is, but I don't think that's the case. I think this really is a path you must walk alone. And there are certain things that only you can do, because this, whatever it is you're kind of facing, whatever it is you're moving towards, or whatever projects you're starting, whatever new jobs you're looking for, whatever it is, they are, you're doing that specifically to make your life better, 10 of coins. You're doing that specifically to enhance your lifestyle or to improve yourself in some way. No one else can really do that. I'm sorry, I'm kind of losing my train of thought because I'm looking at this Page of Cups reverse. It's kind of like a disruption. It's almost as though someone is, I'm looking at that fish in that cup. It's like they're trying to pop their head in. They're trying to it's like someone popping their head into your office, like when you're like working and you're in the zone and someone knocks on the door and they pop their head in and it kind of jolts you out of a focus. There may be some distractions like that, but they're minimal. And the goal really is to just be like, hey, I can't, I'm busy. I really need to do this thing. I really need to tackle this task. I really need to make this happen. We've just really, really got to, minimize the interruptions and minimize the distractions as much as possible. I see you being a little bit inaccessible because the goals that you have are pretty lofty. They're pretty big, and there may be a gap between where you are and where you want to be. I don't see you being stressed out about the gap. I don't see you being, putting yourself down or anything. It's just acknowledgement that there is this difference, that you're not quite vibrating at the frequency that you ultimately would like. And therefore, you need to do what needs to be done, whatever that might be, in order to attain that higher vibration. Ultimately, this is going to work out really well in your favor. The energies that you sort of tackle this week are going to be leverageable. You're building upon something, you're adding to something, you're improving on something. And the more and more you can do that, the better and better this is just going to get. I do see things evening out. So don't be worried if something needs to leave, if something needs to go out, specifically your finances. If money needs to go out, don't worry, the money will come back in. You always have yourself. Remember that with the sun. You always have yourself. You always have your creativity. You always have your knowledge, your wisdom, your talent, your skills. All of that is still on the table for you always. And that's never going to wane, okay? Owl spirit, you see clearly now. Let's see, we've got take time out. Yeah, with the hermit especially. I kind of like the bear with the hermit. It is going to be necessary for you to take some time out. It is going to be necessary for you to go behind closed doors a little bit and really just kind of get the wheels rolling, get the momentum going. Maybe that's really the goal for the month, for the week, is just start really building that momentum. Mars finishing out, well, he's not officially going to finish out this week, but he is coming through the latter degrees of Aries this week. And he'll be moving into Taurus on the 5th of July. So he's still there for a minute, but these latter degrees of Aries are really, really going to push, and action is going to be important. Action can be, meditation and quietude and solitude. That can be an action as well that is also just as productive as anything else. But don't discount the other stuff too. You see clearly now. Yes, you have a vision. Yes, you have an idea of where you want to take your life. You have an idea of what this whole thing is supposed to be and where this is all supposed to go. 10 of coins, I always say, is like a symbol, and you get to plug in whatever that means for you. What does the 10 of coins truly look like? What does the material aspect look like? What does the emotional component look like? The spiritual component? Because to me, this is like a sense of wholeness where everything comes into this complete place and everything is just as you pictured. Okay, so that's really focusing on that vision and keeping that very clear. Luck is on your side. I do suspect, sorry, I don't know, got a little stutter going on there. I do suspect that this will be a lucky week, generally speaking. Because with Mercury in Gemini, we've got Venus coming through Gemini. Even though she's not particularly happy, she's fine in Gemini. She's not exalted. She's not in rulership or anything. She's kind of in a masculine sign as well, but it's not like a super harsh sign, Gemini, right? Gemini is active and creative, and I think Gemini stimulates Venus a lot. And so when she gets stimulated, she gets creative, she gets passionate, she gets driven, and she gets motivated. And when you have that kind of momentum building, of course, luck is inevitable. Your hard work is paying off. Yeah, I do think the things that you've been building up to this point, you're starting to see the fruits of your labor. You're starting to understand why you had to do the things you had to do. And those things are now becoming leverageable. As I'm preparing the July readings, I'm starting to notice that the word lucrative is becoming a theme. And so these things that you have built or are continuing to build upon are going to be leverageable for the sake of lucrative outcomes. Okay, so I do think you're going to start to really understand how you can enjoy the real benefits of all this stuff. There's a lot of benefits to it. There's an element of destiny. Beautiful. We love to see that. There are going to be some things that I think surprise you. things that kind of shake you up out of your comfort zone a little bit. This is kind of like a wheel of fortune, that there's an element of fate. But fate is often it's the effects of past causes, the effects of past thoughts and past actions. Sometimes we can't always make the direct link between our actions and the outcome because sometimes they're so spread apart. But you are going to see some destiny or some fate sort of unraveling for you. It will give you an indication of kind of how it really works, how this whole manifestation thing really works. Some of you are already really good at it, so it's not going to be a surprise, and you'll just be like, oh, okay, I manifested that. All right, that makes sense. And that will be it. But others of you will be like, oh, wow, like that thing I did 6 months ago or even 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden it's starting to show up in my life. Like, how weird is that? It's not weird at all. It's just the way it works, cause and effect. And then we have triumph, which of course is your hard work is paying off. Triumph, 10 of coins, the sun, justice is coming out here. Luck is on your side. I mean, there's a lot of indications of just this being a really great week. Activation. You are activating things. You're initiating new things while enjoying the benefits of past effects, of past causes as well. It's like there's this wave of old momentum that's sort of coming to an end, and there's a beginning wave of new momentum. And we're in that interesting place where the old momentum and new momentum are sort of crashing into each other. So it's not like your old life is completely gone yet, and it's not like your new life is completely present yet. You're just kind of in this weird mix of things, right? In the intermediate, in the middle point with justice and 6 of coins, you're in that equilibrium place. But eventually, the new momentum is really going to start to kick in, and that new direction is really going to be more prominent. Holy Grail, inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. And I love that with the Hermit card as well, because there is that indication of finding the Holy Grail or the gold mine within yourself. Venus coming through Gemini is absolutely going to activate and accentuate that. I'm trying to think here. Astrologically, because we've got Mars coming into that square with Pluto as well over in Capricorn. So there is going to be some like destruction of something. And I think it does have a lot to do with the self, because Mars is over in Aries. It's like a destruction of an identity that no longer serves, especially with the sun over here. Destruction of an identity and a reconstruction of a new one, a more authentic one. Everything is as you've created. All you create offers you lessons in life. That's kind of an important notion as we go forward, right? Because the question is every single day, what do I seek to create? What do I seek to have? And to make decisions accordingly. I mean, that's all like very basic stuff, but sometimes we're not conscious of how we create. We're not conscious of what exactly we are doing and thinking and saying that is begetting certain results. So this is just being like super conscious of your actions, of your thoughts, of your words especially, and curating or being more specific with all of those things to specifically cultivate this life that you are building. Okay? Beautiful week though. All right, you guys, you know how much I love you. I wish you absolutely nothing but the best. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 2, you guys selected the Rose Quartz Heart. So let's go ahead and take a look at these tarot cards. We have the 9 of Wands reversed, the King of Coins, 3 of Cups, Ace of Wands, Page of Wands reversed, and the 8 of Swords reversed. Wow, I love to see the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Wands both reversed, because this indicates to me that you really are getting out of your own way in a lot of ways. Okay, not just like in one or two little ways. It's like you're kind of throwing out the entire rule book for yourself and saying, screw it, I'm just going to do what feels right. And I don't really have a basis for it, but I'm going to do it because I don't want this blockage anymore. I don't want these problems. I don't want this, this part of me that's stuck. Like you don't want to be stuck anymore. And with this King of Coins, it's like, because I deserve to have this abundance in my life. I'm worthy of this. I'm deserving of this. And I can create it. I believe in my ability to create this, whether it is through deep meditation, whether it's through creating peace, whether it's through having more money, through having a better romantic relationship life, like whatever it is. But like you truly, truly believe that you can have this. There is a lot about worth and value with this North Node in Taurus. And with the South Node over in Scorpio, there is that tendency to really kind of skulk in fear and to be, buried down and to hide ourselves, to hide in the shadows, or to not really expose ourselves. And, right now, I think that's the last thing we should be doing. Because your value and your light and your wisdom and your knowledge is more needed than ever. Whatever field, whatever your expertise, whatever your talents, whatever your skills, they're in high demand. King of Coins, you're in high demand. And I see this Three of Cups being a quality of like people, right? Just generally, very general. I don't know. It's not coming out in any specific way. It's just people. People looking at you, people seeing you, people celebrating you, people providing for you. And hopefully you can allow them to provide for you. I'm almost kind of getting one of those images of like, like a Roman emperor lounging on a couch, and there's like these three women like fanning him with palm leaves and feeding him grapes, that kind of thing. Like that's you. Like let people help you. Let people come to your aid. Let people assist you. Let people help you financially. Let people, do the work for you so that you can really leverage your time in more lucrative way. I'm going to keep saying this over and over because I'm preparing for the July readings, and this is like a recurring theme. It's like we're coming into this period of time where we have this opportunity to leverage our past, whether it's all the things we've learned and our expertise or whatever else, but we get to leverage that for the sake of more lucrative endeavors, and it's all happening right now, that sort of pivot point where we get to enhance things and make things better and profit more. And opportunities are really going to come out for you. When I say profit, I don't necessarily mean financially, although it could be, but it doesn't have to be financial, okay? And the opportunities are going to come for you. Now, the thing with the aces, we must remember that these are more like the essence, like this is like the essence of fire, okay? It's not necessarily something truly real yet. It's all just potential, and it's something that kind of comes out of the field, comes into our mind, comes into our heart, and it's just kind of like a seed that gets planted. But it doesn't necessarily mean that, it's officially going to grow, because not everyone is going to fully take this. I kind of see this as like a baton, right? The universe is handing us a baton. Not everyone is going to grab that baton and run with it, but they're not going to be able to shake it either. They're not going to be able to get rid of this idea that they want to do this thing. It's going to be something that they just really, it's going to stick with them. But those of you who grab the baton and run with it, who take this new seedling and water it and nurture it and start to create something real with it, this is going to be a very lucrative endeavor. Again, that word lucrative, leverage, those are my words of the month, okay? So get used to hearing it. You're going to be hearing it a lot for the next few weeks. And then we have the Page of Wands reversed, which is like about the resistance to taking the first steps forward. And also other people who, like, you see other people not taking the baton, which means there's more of an opportunity for you to do that. Okay? This is about empowerment. This is about expression of self. And this is about creation. Okay? So we have the dove spirit, says, be peace. And we have the mouse spirit, tend to the small things. And even though this is a king, he is a king of earth, and the earth energies are very concerned about the mundane aspects of life. Yes, it's about the emails, it's about the phone calls, it's about the meetings, it's about driving over to that client's house and talking them through something. It's about, all different types of regular life things. One of my old bosses, who was a commercial real estate investor, a very, very successful one of his sort of mantras was, if you take care of the pennies, the dollars will take care of themselves. And pennies can be metaphorical for something else as well. So, if you take care of the pennies, the dollars will take care of themselves. So the details are important. Making sure that everything is set up, making sure the structure is sound, making sure the foundation is up to code, again, metaphorically, and then being able to build from there. This is an incredible year. And as Saturn moves through Pisces for the next couple of years, it is going to get a little bit wonky. And that's why, we have to take advantage of Saturn being in rulership right now. Because when he's not in rulership and he's over in Pisces and he's in this weird, wonky, distorted kind of, zodiac archetype, it's going to be very hard for us to really see our way through sometimes. So now is a good time for that clarity. Now is a good time for yep, this is what I want. This is what I feel. This is what feels best. This is what seems to be the best. And this is what I have to work with, so I'm going to run with it. Surrender to the divine. It's almost like surrendering to that Ace of Wands, right? It's like, okay, Ace of Wands, I get it. I'm going to, look at this. Tend to the small things, but look at the bigger picture. So we kind of have both sides of the spectrum there, small and big. For the sake of the bigger picture, you must focus on the small things. This is like taking a 5-year plan, breaking it down into a 1-year plan, breaking that down into 12 months, breaking that down into 52 weeks, 365 days. It's like taking it and scaling it back and back and back and back into manageable, bite-sized types of pieces. Because likely this Ace of Wands, of course, it's a fire energy, so it's very extravagant, right? So it's like there's a big picture out there for you. There's a big vision, And if you get those steps going, surrender to the divine. It's like, just take the ace, just take it, just take the idea, just take the desire and just run with it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to judge it. It may not be the ultimate outcome. It may not be the ultimate destination for you. But even if it's just a stepping stone, or if it's a detour to get you ultimately to where you need to be, then so be it. That's fine. You can work with that, right? But at this moment, that Ace of Wands, just take it. Just take it. Okay, beautiful. We have a couple chakras here. We've got the solar plexus, which we love to see, and we have the crown, which we also love to see. Probably a good idea this week to really do your, check in with your chakras during meditation. Check in, make sure they're spinning and doing what they need to do, making sure the energy is truly flowing. The ace has come through the crown. All right. And this is, that creative spirit, that creative energy, the self-expression. There needs to be this unfiltered version of you that comes out, this totally free, and I'm hearing really weird words. I don't want to say that. I'm hearing the word bodacious for some reason. I don't know why. The bodacious part of you, it's just very raw and very real, and maybe even a little bit offensive, but it's like, I don't care. I'm going to offend people. Like, who cares? Just whatever. Focus. Yes, focus. We like that. It's fun to have like the fun part of things, big picture, the Ace of Wands, even the surrender. It's fun to have the big picture. And then it's also fun to have the focus on the small things too. Focus on productivity, focus on what begets the best outcome. All of that is going to be beneficial for you. And then we have angelic frequency. Angels are here. You are safe. Potent connection. Maybe some of you really needed to hear that. Maybe three of cups is sitting there like, there are people there to help you. I kind of am hearing the word earth angels. Angels are here, but I'm hearing earth angels. Please, please, please do not turn away help from other people. Even if it's just like in the workplace, and you got a project going on and someone's like, hey, do you need a hand with anything? Just say yes. Like, yes, you can do X, Y, and Z things and I'll take care of this, Just say yes. Let people assist. The angels are going to work through others to ensure that your life gets easier, okay? You are being called into service. Believe in your own guidance. Maybe that's what that Ace of Wands is really about. I think with this North Node in Taurus, there's a lot of desire to be of value in this world and to contribute something of value in this world. And usually that means that you are providing something, a product or a service, or teaching something or whatever. You're doing something that helps, that makes people's lives better, that educates them or brings wisdom or brings something of value into their life. And so maybe that's what this Ace of Wands is really about. Maybe this Ace of Wands is like a bridge from all the things you've learned up to this point, professionally, personally, spiritually, emotionally, all those things. It's a bridge between everything from the past and this new you that's going to be emerging over the next several years. And I say several years because as Saturn comes through Pisces and then it moves into Aries, that's kind of like the defining moment, defining a new self at that point, Saturn coming through Aries. So there is a new track being laid, and eventually that train is going to have to kind of run on that track. But right now we're focusing on the track itself. So all the things that are coming to your mind, all the things that are it's like a lot of dots are not connecting right now, and that's okay. The people who are okay with dots not connecting are the ones who are going to be winning. I'm going to say winning, more like successful, I guess we could say. Okay? All right, pile 2. Interesting reading, but I'm going to leave you with that. You guys know I love you. I wish you nothing but the best. Have an amazing week. Talk to you soon. Take care. Okay, pile number 3. You guys selected the Selenite. So let's go ahead and take a look at these tarot cards and see what comes through. So we have the 8 of Coins, the 9 of Coins reversed, 10 of Swords, Ace of Swords, 2 of Wands reversed, and the Chariot. Okay. So it's interesting to have the 10 and the 1 in the very center because it's like the end and the beginning. So this week you may actually feel like you have a breakthrough of some kind, which would be great. Actually, I'm going to move these up a little bit. Sorry, I know I keep moving these. But I think there's going to be a breakthrough. And it's going to be a breakthrough of sheer will. I don't know that it's necessarily going to be like an inspiration, inspiring epiphany of anything. I think it's behavioral. And I'm looking at this 8 of Coins. It's like, this is about what you do. This is not about like sitting and meditating and receiving this incredible vision. I mean, you may have a vision or whatever, but I don't think it's tied to this Ace of Swords. I think that this really is like, it's an act of pure will. Like you are so determined to not be in this pinned down place anymore. You're determined to not be stuck. And therefore you just push and push and push. But I don't see resistance with the pushing, which is great. I don't see, right? Because Venus is out of square with Saturn right now. The sun is coming off of the trine with Saturn. It's making its way into Cancer this month. There's the sun is coming into a square with Jupiter, so there's that kind of tension building. So I feel like there's this quality of, I don't know why, but I'm feeling so determined to work really, really, really hard. And it's a flow state. It's a connection. There's a lot of productivity. And it's not even really about the outcome, 9 of Coins. I will tell you, though, that there will be a positive outcome to all that work you do. And when I say work, I don't necessarily mean blood, sweat, and tears. I just mean, it's that inspired action. It's that, that, like, you can't explain why you have to, stay at the office for, 4 or 5 extra hours at night. You're just, in the groove, and time just goes by like that kind of thing. And it feels great, and it feels good, and you feel accomplished, and you feel like you kind of have some semblance of control over things at a time when maybe you haven't felt that in a long time. You haven't felt like you've had a handle on things. So now you feel like you have a handle on things. And even though this 2 of Wands reversed, it's not even really about this big grand vision. I mean, I'm sure you have one. It's not even really about that. It's more about kind of your short-term visions, I think, and actually attaining those short-term goals and really just checking everything off the list. And this Chariot, the Chariot operates in kind of more metaphysical ways. And it's the more momentum you have with the small things, with the day-to-day, tasks that, have been building up over time, the more and more you check off the list, the more and more momentum you have, the more energy gets cleared up, and the more this Chariot can actually pull you forward more seamlessly. And that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to pull you forward. You're going to definitely see the effects of this hard work. Either someone is going to recognize you or recognize it within you, or they're going to, I don't know, you're going to get probably a new client of some sort, or a new project, or you're going to have, I'm just going to use the word recognition. I'll just leave it at that. Some kind of recognition. Okay, so we have the Badger spirit, be fearless and bold. And we have the Wolf spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. Wisdom often requires embodiment, right? Really practicing what you preach, being everything that you think you should be. And there's also a beautiful silence to wisdom as well. It's a lot quieter than knowledge, where knowledge is still trying to connect a lot of dots. Wisdom is more complete. And when you have this completed mind state, there's not a lot of force or a lot of resistance with anything. That's why it's yeah, you're working really hard, but there's no resistance to it. The whole point of this is to move past that resistance. And it's just, I don't know, I don't think it's going to be that complicated for you. Fearless and bold, you're just sort of pushing past your own barriers right now. You're just pushing past your own egoic fears and whatnot. And it's just I think it feels good. It feels really good to do that. I don't think it feels scary. I don't think it feels like you're moving into some mysterious place and, oh my gosh, it's all unknown and whatever. It's just I'm just going to overcome it. And probably life is going to be kind of the same on the other side, except I'm not getting in my own way all the time. It's easy. It makes sense. It's clear. Have faith in your dreams. The reason you're doing this is because you have faith in your dreams. This act of sheer will piercing through, this crown here. You're piercing through the haze of the Ten of Swords. You're piercing through the haze of everything that's kept you pinned down. Like, nothing can stop you now. I don't know what to say. Like, everyone's got to look out for pile number 3. Like, literally nothing can stop you. Nothing, no one, any perceived lack of resource just out the window. I don't know. You are not operating from a scarce mindset. You are not operating from a place of fear or guilt or shame. You're just saying, like, it's time. It's just time for me to do this thing. Period. End of story. And there's nothing anyone can really do or say. Balance spirituality and practicality. Yeah, see, that's the beautiful thing about wisdom. It is a balance with spirituality and practicality. It is about all the spiritual manifestation, law of attraction, high vibration, consciousness, awareness. It's all that. But it's also about freaking getting to work and doing some stuff too. It's about creation. It's about inspiration and getting your hands in the dirt sometimes and being truly willing to do what it takes. But it doesn't feel like drudgery, but that's really what really wisdom is. Spirituality and practicality as one whole complete picture. Material harvest. Yeah. Now I said this to piles 1 and 2. I'm preparing for my July monthlies, and the two, like, the theme of the month is leverage and lucrative, right? Things that you can leverage for lucrative results. And it's showing up here now in the weeklies. It's like material harvest. You're going to have the material reward that you seek. I don't know what else to say. It's just oh no, just drop the cards. Okay. And then we have transformation. Yeah, this is a big transformation for you. This truly is changing the way you go about doing things. When you have this kind of a breakthrough, you can't ever really go back. You can't go back to the way it used to be. You can't go back to the way you used to do things. It's like a new sheriff in town almost. There's new rules. You've set new rules for yourself, new rules for the game. And I think the way you perceive things is totally different as well. Like, I'm going to use a money example because we got a lot of money stuff going on over here. So just as an example, but this could apply for you in your romantic life or with your family or with your kids or whatever. But let's say you've had like financial blocks. You've really struggled with like allowing or aligning yourself with a lot of money. And this is a month where it's not necessarily that you're going to get all the money right now, but it's like what you're building and what you're doing and the path that you're on. It's really showing you that what the blockage really even was, because sometimes we misinterpret or we mislabel what our fears actually are. Or what our blockages actually are. And so by changing the way you see it, like for example, let's say you thought that your money blockage was because, your parents passed down their scarcity mindset, and so you always just felt that you weren't good enough to have a lot of money. Let's just say that was your thing. But now you realize that maybe that's not really what the blockage is. Maybe the blockage is that you don't perceive yourself as someone who is capable of providing financial miracles for other people. But now you're like, but I can. I provide financial miracles for people every day. Every time you pay your energy bill, you provide jobs, right? Every time you pay your cell phone bill, you provide jobs. Every time you hire someone to cut the grass, you're providing a livelihood for someone else. And when you start thinking about it that way, now remember, that was just an example, so you can apply that into other areas of your life. And I feel that there's this new identification or this new definition of what the blockage actually has been. And then you realize how simple it truly is to overcome that obstacle. And maybe the reason why it had been so hard in the past was because you misidentified it, misinterpreted, misunderstood it. It's always about giving anyway, right? You have a blockage, it's probably best to give in that area or change the way you see how you give. Ebb and flow. You're definitely in a flow state though. I don't know. I don't see an ebb for you. You're in a flow because you had been in an ebb. Okay, so there's definitely a flow, especially as Venus comes into Gemini, and as Uranus makes its way closer and closer to the North Node. That's not happening until the end of next month, July 31st, but that buildup is still there. There's still technically a conjunction happening. So they're just kind of like coming together and together closer and closer and closer. And then early in July, when Mars enters into Taurus, and throughout the whole of July, as Mercury gets closer and closer to that conjunction, there's going to be a lot of shakeup and a lot of volatility, but there's also going to be a lot of opportunity as well. So I see you harnessing that opportunity. The central sun, abundance. Yeah, definitely abundance is a theme with that 9 of coins reversed. Abundance downloads, regeneration, and success. I mean, to me, that's pretty clear that you're aligning. You're aligning with see, if you want to know yourself, I don't know, sorry, I'm getting a little off track, but I highly recommend looking at your astrology chart and looking at which house your sun is in. Not which zodiac sign, but which house. And that house determines kind of that soul's desire to achieve, that soul's desire to have or to attain. And it's likely that your life continues to pull you more and more and more in the direction of that sun house placement. So if you have the sun in the 7th house, you're going to be pulled toward romantic relationships. If you have the house in, let's say, the 3rd house, you may be pulled toward, social connections and communication, and maybe even something like athletics as well, right? You may be a very sporty person, or you may be a very communicative person, maybe even both. 12th house, maybe you're a really musical person, whatever it is. You'll notice how the sun pulls you, and that's that desire to attain and to achieve and to get higher and higher in whatever it is that you do. And this seems to be a month where you seem to be clicking more into greater ease or greater flow with that. When you stop resisting that desire to attain in that area, life becomes so much easier. For me as a 12th house sun, I live a very hermited lifestyle, right? And one day I just said, you know what? This is just what I want. It just makes me happy. It just makes me content, and I don't want to fight it anymore. And so, I'm not to say I don't have a social life or whatever. I mean, I do, but for the most part, it's a very private life. And that's just the nature of a 12th house sun. Whereas a 10th house sun might want to have a very public life, something very opposite of that, something very seen and very available to a lot of people, Then we have miracles happen. Give the universe your clear intention. Well, I think you're doing that through your action already. I don't know that, I think it's pretty clear. If you're not clear, the action is how you communicate with the universe right now. Mars in Aries, Jupiter in Aries. You want that communication. Align your actions with the things you say you want. Plain and simple. Okay? All right, pile 3. You guys know I love you. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you have an amazing week. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.